Original Just Home UX, and this is Did the Future Already Happen? The Paradox of Time by Channel Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. Yes, a time video is going to be awesome. Yeah, any, let's just say, videos like this, fundamental theories of things like time is always going to be awesome. And it's from Kurzgesagt. So, yeah, time. Time is a very weird thing. It's like, you know how they say like you need to be outside of yourself to know of something or observe something, especially in science that comes up a lot. That's why people think like if AI becomes a thing, they might solve certain things that we can't. This is one of those things because time is very weird thing. It could be real or it could be just our perspective or experience, or maybe both, right? So I don't know. To me time feels like just a process, right? Molecular process, every kind of process, let's just say, that's like anything that happens, it's time, right? Anything that's gonna happen is gonna happen in the future. I don't know how else to say that. If like that's the thing, like if strong gravity would slow down every molecular process of anything and everything, right? That's why for them, their time slows down compared to everybody else, right? That's the whole thing. If you're near black hole, for you time is going fine, but everybody else at very distance are moving faster for you, and for them you are in slow motion. So I don't know. Yeah, time feels like it's like like affected by gravity a lot, and I think it's mostly based on like molecular and every kind of process, right? So I don't know. Let's watch it. Remember, if you like my next, don't forget to subscribe. So I know which type of videos to react to more. I like science and scientific related topic like this. I'll try to react to any Kurzgesagt video I can, and others as well. So if you haven't seen that, check out the link in the description. And yeah, let's do it.
Do your past, present, and future all exist right now? Are you watching this video, being born, and lying on your deathbed at this very moment? Surprisingly, the answer could be yes. But how can that be? What does that even mean? How does time work? The block universe. Imagine the universe like a child painting pictures on paper. Each picture shows everything that's happening in the universe in a single moment. With each new moment, all kinds of things occur everywhere. People are born and die, galactic civilizations expand, you miss the bus. And our universe kid makes a new picture that replaces the old one.
Yeah. Darth Vader just invaded another galaxy and you missed the bus. Equal things that are happening at the same time.
In this way, you get something like a movie. Only the moment we're in right now is real. The past is what happened before. Now it's gone. The future is still to come and hasn't been drawn yet. This is kind of how time feels, right? Each moment being replaced by the next one. The past is far behind us. The future doesn't exist. But what if time is something else? What if the universe kid has already finished all its drawings and stacks them on top of each other? This way, we get a block of time that contains the whole history of the universe, all moments that have ever existed or will ever exist. But in this block, in this stack of moments, the past, the present, and the future are equally real and exist at the same time. This feels wrong. The only things that we perceive as real are those things happening now. How can the past and future be real right now? The problem is that according to the theory of relativity, they kind of have to be. Heavily simplified,
Really?
Relativity says that time and space are not separated, but one connected space-time. When you move through space, you're also moving through the block. This means time passes differently for different people, depending on how they move through space relative to each other. And this also means that what someone perceives as now is a certain cut along the block, a cut that will depend on how fast they're moving. So what you think is now is really only your now. There are many different nows in the universe, and all of them are equally real. This also means there's no universal past or future. Okay, this is a lot.
I mean, yeah, whenever you tackle theories like this, right, it's really hard to get the, like core of things, many different takes will feel different, right? To me, always relatively feels okay. You can't be in a certain space without time, right? So time is kind of like a factor in that way. So space time continue. But in the end, let's just say if there is a like a cosmic being that doesn't have any energy, right? Energy, let's just say energy equals mass, or mass equal energy. Anything that is a mass has gravity, and gravity affects basically time and everything. That's why if anything that's like really fast, like high speeds, also experience time differently. Let's say there is a being that is like absolute zero, has no energy, has no mass, has no gravitational field, right? For that purpose, any place in the basically world, universe, whatever, has the same type of time, right? Everybody else either slows down or speeds up because their molecular processes are slowing down or speeding up, right? So basically, time can be factored like that if you experience it, right? Like I said, if you are like close to black hole, everybody else around you is like moving faster because to them you're moving in slow motion. So in that way, it basically it's like comes down to molecular processes and things like that, right? So that doesn't mean future is already here and all that. I don't know. I don't know about that, right? I mean, obviously Einstein does talk about things like that, but his theories also like say about things like tachyons, which is like not true. So everyone has a limitation. Newtonian physics had limitation. Einstein also has limitation. That's the reason why Einsteinian physics fails in the center of black holes, right? So I don't know about the future being here, right? I don't even know what that means, future, right? Now, if it turns out like everything's predetermined, right, and we're just moving through motions and past and future is just here, then that would be different. But yeah, I don't know. If you just suddenly like, let's just say, if you like pause your like molecular processes and just like jump into the like 10 years from future, you didn't really jump 10 years in future. You froze in time. Everybody could see you for 10 years frozen in time, right? So I don't know about, in that way. I don't know.
How does this work? Imagine 3 alien spaceships a million light years away. The first one just hovers in space, not moving relative to you. You both experience the same now, the same present.
Yeah.
If you had a magical instantaneous internet connection, you could do a video call right now and chat about alien things. The second spaceship is flying away from us at 30 kilometers a second, about 3 times faster than a human rocket. It's moving differently through the block of time than you are, which means its now is different from yours. With the magical internet, the aliens can talk to your ancestors in 1924, when humanity was discovering the first galaxies outside the Milky Way. The third spaceship wants to visit Earth and is flying towards you at 30 kilometers a second, moving at the opposite angle of the second ship through the block of time. It experiences yet another now. With the magical internet, the aliens can talk to your descendants in the year 2124, when humanity has already built cities on Mars and Venus.
Yeah, this is so good.
So we have 3 different nows. So which
Yeah, but this is relative to you, how you experience, right? I mean, yeah.
one is correct? Well, that's the problem. Relativity is based on one powerful principle: cosmic democracy. The fact that the point of view of all observers in the universe is equally valid. All those nows have to be equally real. But if this is the case, your past, present, and your future all have to exist at the same time, right now. Because for the different aliens, they all happen in their present. This means that the distinction between the past, the present, and the future is an illusion. The universe is not a bunch of things evolving through time like in a movie, but a static block in which the past, the present, and the future all coexist and are real. How can that be?
Yeah, but they all can't. Every one instances of the time can be real, not all of them together.
Well, think about a galaxy outside the observable universe, too far away to ever visit or see. But even if you can't get there and don't see it, it's still real. The future might be the same. But if the past is not far behind us and the future actually exists, then there is no movie. Things don't happen in the universe. The universe just is, like a frozen block of dead
That's a scary
cosmic
shit.
ice, with everything that will ever happen already written and decided.
Yeah, I hate that whole thing, right? Because I'm pretty sure there was like a big thing recently about they were observing how you make decisions, right? It's just like maybe there's a chance that the decision you're gonna make is not really up to you, right? And it's predetermined, which is like, oh my god, where to go from that? If that shit is real, if that is getting proved, like, okay, this is real, what you're gonna do is like kind of predetermined. And this is one of those scariest shit ever, right? Because that means you have no control, right? You have no free will. That means all the evil people are not really evil because they were supposed to be that. That's so scary window that opens, right? So future always existing. What does that mean, right? I don't know. This is so good every time I read
Is
it.
the future already written? If all times coexist and are equally real, then the future has to be already written. But that's not how you experience things. It feels like you can mold your
See
future.
the points he made about how this, instances exist like this. So there has to be like past, present, and future together. But yeah, if you take all those instances together, but those all instances doesn't happen together. All those instances happen once in given time. So that doesn't mean the future is already here, isn't it?
With your decisions. It really feels like you're free to choose to stop watching YouTube to not miss the bus. But if the future is set in stone, you can't decide anything. So
There you go.
are your choices an illusion? Well, maybe. Maybe your free will is a mirage. And maybe you missing the bus was already predetermined at the
Yeah.
Big Bang. So
You got an F, that's not your fault. You missed the bus, you just hang around with your friends. Again, that's not your fault. There you go, Kurzgesagt for kids.
feel free to continue watching. Except quantum stuff is ruining everything again.
There you go.
Quantum
See, that's what I was talking
processes
about.
can't be predicted, not even in principle. Not because we're silly and don't know how to do it. According to quantum physics, quantum particles are intrinsically random.
Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about. Einstein in physics doesn't always work. And Einstein's thing that is basically discovered all this quantum world, that itself doesn't respect Einstein in physics. Where all of our laws of physics kind of like starts to break up. We need something better. This is why I said like, okay, you need a full picture. We're nowhere near close to the full picture. Because we don't know everything about the laws of physics. Just like how people, when they knew of like Newtonian physics, didn't know Einstein physics. How they would have felt. We are feeling that right now. We need something more. And the problem is that, like, let's say Newtonian physics is this small, right? Einsteinian physics is big as a fucking, let's just say, a building. So imagine newer physics, how big that need to be. And if a person can even do it. And if a person can't do it, then you need multiple people. Can multiple people, like, think alike each other to come up with something like that? This is the problem we are today, I guess. This is why, like, newer discoveries are really slow.
For example, if you have a radioactive atom, it could decay at any moment, in the next second or in the next million years. We can calculate the probability that it will decay tomorrow, but no oracle in the universe will ever be able to tell you with absolute certainty if it will do so or not. But quantum particles can change the world. Imagine a radioactive element randomly decays and causes a genetic mutation in a nearby mammal.
Yeah.
And then many generations later, that mutation has led to a weird mix of duck and mammal that makes no sense. Or the atom decays a day later, and the weird creature will never exist. If quantum stuff is really uncertain, the future can't be set in stone. But if the future is an untold story, it can't be real in the same way as the past is. So what happens when uncertain things like the decay of our atom become real? Is that moment the present? Is this now? But before we saw that cosmic democracy makes it impossible to define an absolute now. What's going on here? It turns out that for every individual...
Yeah, see, everything that exists in the universe and combination of those things results in something. If you like see all the different, let's just say, instances that could happen, right? Like there's this many just, how like 1 to 9 keypad. Now, what is the password? Like it could be anything out of those 9. You have to multiply that over and over, and there's going to be like I don't know, millions of different numbers that could be. Imagine that at a universal scale, how many information there is. Now, how many combination of the information based on just small thing, like I said, like atom decays or not, results in something. Now, if something takes into account of all of that and somehow has a predetermined future, that is an insane number of information. How is that possible? Okay, if you're simulation in a computer, even then, like, the level of computer would be, I don't know. So to me, predetermined future feels weird. Right now I don't think so. Anything's possible in science. Like, one day we might discover something that will be like, oh, maybe that is true. But right now it feels like weird.
Object, you, an alien, an atom, the past, the present, and the future are always well defined. Your death will always happen after your birth, never before, and never at the same time. Now,
Benjamin
you are
Button,
clearly
even then it's
between
not
your
real. It's
birth
like
and your death.
genetic difference.
So, for you at least, now makes perfect sense. If we don't play
Go
tricks
to the
like
rock.
going to the other side of the universe and using aliens in funny ways to find out what now means, things again start to look ordered and nice, and individual nows seem to exist. Can we do something with them? Let's return to our block universe. Maybe the block does not contain the future, and maybe we just imagined it wrong. Maybe the block is just the past, and a thin layer on the surface is the present. That surface is not smooth, but bumpy and uneven. It's been made by joining countless individual nows, each experienced by someone or something in the universe, each equally real.
See, that's what I was saying, right? The way you were like, explaining like these different instances means future, past, and now, but those all cannot exist at a given one time. All those different existence is there for one time, right? All of them can't exist in just one time. I don't know. It feels weird to explain. I'm not in my cognitively best time right now, but you know what I mean, right? All of them is like only can happen given one time. So every different thing creates a different future.
And valid, and all observers do their bit, so cosmic democracy is still true. As new things happen and uncertain things become certain, radioactive atoms decay, new species of mammals arise, people miss the bus, the border moves upwards, creating new time in the universe.
Yeah.
Instead of a frozen block of time with a future that has already been written, the block is growing and things happen. You can again decide your future. Maybe leave earlier so you won't miss the bus. What is real then?
Nah, sir.
Let's recap.
Kids already closed the video when you say it's not your fault. They're not watching the end.
We started with time as a movie, one now after another, where only the current now was real. Then we found out that because of relativity, there are multiple nows, all of them real somehow, which could mean that we're living in a frozen block universe where things don't happen and you don't really have free will. And we ended up with a kind of growing block universe where time passes and the future is open. So which is correct? The present? The past? Are the dinosaurs as real as you are right now? What do the aliens on the other corner of the universe think about all this? To be honest, no one knows. What we've learned are two possibilities to describe time, but they're not the only ones. Some scientists think that the idea of now only makes sense near you, but not in the universe as a whole. Others think that time itself doesn't even exist, that the whole concept...
Now see, that's where I don't like that. Like I said, imagine a cosmos, which is not realistic, obviously, like, but imagine a being that is like, has no energy, has no gravitational field at all, right? It's not moving. Its whole energy is like near temperature of absolute zero, so it has no energy, right? Energy equals mass, it has no gravitational field, it's not moving, it's there. Now that thing experiences time same everywhere, right? So do the cosmic being in the distance seeing dinosaur right now, for them it's real now? No, for them that's now, because they're seeing the light reaching there now. It's the limitation of light reaching there, right? So I guess relative to somebody, that's relativity. Relative to someone, right? Time could be in that way different. Otherwise, now is now, right? Right now, at this second, billions of years, billions of light years from now, some galaxy, someone's, let's just say alien sitting there, would be feeling same as us. We don't know it, we can't experience it, but doesn't mean that's not now. Relative to each other, right? If we were to experience each other's time, that would be different. But they still exist there now. Let's say they're eating some food and I'm making a video here. That would be now. So I don't know. But you could also make an argument, but if we can't experience that in now, does that even exist? So it all depends, right? Like I said, if a cosmic being is there, it's like doesn't experience just time is linear everywhere. They would see everything as now, but just slowing time, growing time based on like their movement, speed, gravitational field. I don't know. Yeah.
Is an illusion of our human mind. And others think that time does exist, but that it's not a fundamental feature of the universe. Rather, time may be something that emerges from a deeper level of reality, just like heat emerges from the motion of individual molecules, or life emerges from the interactions of lifeless proteins.
Processes,
we could go
I
on,
guess.
but aren't you about to miss the bus? The concept of time is abstract and elusive, possibly beyond.
Yeah, well, go to brilliant.org forces nutshell and support this channel. Yeah, I think I like the concept of just like having a deeper meaning of time rather than time being an actual thing in that way. Time is just like processes, right? Now you can argue like why is there such thing as process? Maybe that's time, but because how time gets affected by gravitational field, I'm just gonna say it's just processes that we say time is, right? Process slows down of everything. That time for that region slows down, I guess, right? Processes speed up for that region, everything speeds up. Whatever is in that region is not gonna experience it, but everybody around you is gonna like in the distance is gonna experience it, and vice versa. I don't know. Right, well, did the future already happen? The paradox of time by Kurzgesagt in a nutshell. If you like my next, don't forget to subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you next time.